This year turned out a lot better than we originally planned. We just kind of went with it and see what was going to happen. We had a lot better season in the end. A rookie of the year title. Very proud of the second place finish. I want to thank the crew and everybody on there for our opinion.
From Chattanooga, Tennessee, let's welcome him back up to the podium, your 2014 NeSmith Late Model National Champion, the Chattanooga Flash, Ronnie Johnson.
Thanks, Ronnie. Everybody knows that I love this sport and probably going to do this for as long as I can climb in the car, but I never dreamed at this point that we'd get a check for $20,000 at the end of the year, much less with the Sister Series and getting another $10,000. We're taking, my mom's giving me 30 grand, and you know, a few years ago, if I hadn't got involved with Mike and these crate engines, the 604 and the 525, and we have run some 602 stuff in the past. I'm not sure how my racing would be. I'm sure I'd be racing, we'd be doing some. But there's no way we'd be able to race for this. So, that being said, you know, I told my story earlier, and I need to thank some people here. You know, there's some guys that I've got a crew of people. They're all part-time for the most part. You know, Zach's been helping me. He's probably going to come on full-time, but even this year, he was part-time. Richard Austin kept a car at his shop. I drove Richard's car some, drove his personal car some, but he kept one of my cars at the shop all year. That was a big help. So the guys in his shop, you know, that have helped on those cars or gone to races with us and helped us, or of course Richard Austin, Griffin Kinsey, Zach Kinsey, John Litchford, and Brian Rout. And I need to thank them for preparing and maintaining those cars at his shop. The guys that helped me in my shop, and it sounds like I've got a big crew, but, you know, these guys might go with me for 2 or 3 races in a row, and I might not see them for a couple of minutes, but Tiny Bass, Anthony Buffington, David Castleberry, Roger Johnston, Bo Lawson, Mike Mingle, Justin Owens, Scott Russell, Jason Simmons, Stacy Whitfield. Those are all alphabetical order. You know, every one of them are very important. I need to thank Riley Gigman and Brad Carbon. We were going to Batesville, and we were going all the way to Batesville. It's too far to go to get out there and something happen to your car and not have a car or have to go around, you know, try to rent a car or borrow a car or something. And we had a car, but I didn't have another motor at the time. And I asked Riley if I could borrow his crate motor because he was racing with Southern All-Stars. And Brad Carter was purple. And Riley showed up at the house on the night before we left at about 11 o'clock at night with the car. And I was around for work all night. Roger Johnston and I were going all the way out there to Batesville. Started to get hot weather. And so they pulled up with their car, and I asked her how ready to run is that car? And he says, it's ready. Just take it out there and just, here's, you know, it's the way we run it. I changed this and I changed that. And that's all we do to it. So we put it in the trailer before they left because Roger hadn't got there yet. I left my car on stands and didn't even take it. We went to Batesville, won the race, had fast time the second night, and led the race for a while, and just kind of, my driver didn't show up, and we wound up running fourth, but I really need to thank them. And we kept that car for the most of the season and took it with us to all the races for a backup. That's the car that Michael talked about that he made a lap in. at Jackson. And I've got, we get product assistance from a bunch of people. You guys will not be patient with me if I mention them all. And I shouldn't, but I'm going to skip that because I really want to thank our two racing series, its staff and all the tracks that host us. You know, Johnny's up here a while ago, Charles is up here and they're involved in Magnolia Speedway, and I'm not slapping any of the other tracks that we go to, but I keep seeing these pictures up here. We're going around on this four-wide salute, and Mike was talking to Mike earlier this week. He was talking about some different things, some different formats and stuff, and I really believe that Magnolia Speedway, we can throw the green flag on tomorrow's four-wide. It's one of the few places we can do that. Not taking away from anybody else, but they do a tremendous job there, and it's one of my favorite tracks. But all of the track owners that host us, you know, we love going to them. I got to go to some new tracks this year. We actually won a couple of races at some tracks I hadn't won at before. Got to go back to some, you know, some track, not old tracks, but tracks that I've run years past, back in the 90s when we used to travel a lot that I haven't been to in a while. None of this racing season, none of this racing business makes any financial sense, just like Johnny said. But Mike Vaughn and his staff have come up with the most affordable type of racing possible. I've seen a lot of series come and go over the years, and it'd be hard to find another group on any level that tries to organize and present a better situation, you know, for the tracks and the drivers and the fans. And you know, you know, Zach's beat me to the point here, but I'd like for us to give them a hand for all of this. It's definitely my wife even mentioned it back sometime this summer, and I didn't know she even noticed it. But I've had more fun racing in the last few years, you know, with this group than probably I ever did. You know, we're still traveling some, we still get to go to all these different tracks, but most of them are one-day shows, and for the most part, you can still be home, you know, the next day. So I would like us all to give these two series a hand.